Oh, hey there! My name is FullMetal and this is the Blazing Sentries build. So, what is this build? This is a Demon Hunter endgame build for farming highest torment levels. I will try to explain how this build works and the different variations of the build depending on the gear you have. First of all, this build revolves around your sentry ability. And your main damage is fire damage. In order to make this build work though, you absolutely need the Marauder set. You can check my basic analysis on how this set works and how to get it on a previous video. I'll leave a link in the description below. So first of all, let's check our passive abilities. The first one here is Custom Engineering. What this does is that it increases the duration of your sentries, spike traps, mark for death and caltrops by 100%. It also increases the maximum number of sentries up to 3 and the maximum number of spike traps up to 6. The next one is Archery. Of course, this passive ability is used by every Demon Hunter on every torment level. The next one is Awareness. Now what this does is it increases your armor by 30% of your dexterity. This gives a tremendous buff on your toughness as a Demon Hunter. And the last one is Perfectionist. Now this passive skill reduces the discipline cost of all skills by 10% and it increases your armor, your life and your resistance to all elements by 10%. Now because you have the buff on your toughness from your awareness, you may not need to use Perfectionist. You can swap that out for Steady Aim in order to buff your damage instead of your toughness. That concludes the passive abilities. Now let's check out what active abilities we can use here. Now the first abilities that we use are Sentry and Companion, for the obvious reason that we use the Marauder set, which gives a set bonus that buffs both these abilities. So, in order to maximize the damage on our sentries, we need to use two Hatred Spender abilities. The ones that are chosen here are Cluster Arrow with Loaded for Bear and Multi-Shot with Arsenal. We use fire damage on every single of our abilities in order to buff that with every single armor piece that increases our fire damage. You can also see that I use Elemental Arrow here, but I only do that because I have the legendary bow Critter Shot, which buffs my Elemental Arrow and it now generates 3 hatred instead of spending it. If you don't know that legendary bow, you can switch out Elemental Arrow for spike traps. You can use the Scatter Rune with spike traps to simultaneously lay 3 traps instead of 1. The last ability that I use is Smoke Screen, and I use that with Healing Vapors, which regenerates 15% of your life while invisible. Now you can use a different rune here, like Displacement, which increases your movement speed by 100% while invisible, or Lingering Fog, which increases the duration up to 1.5 seconds. And you can also use a completely different ability like Vault, because you only need that ability in order to escape from a tough spot. Now with Vault you can use Rattling Roll rune, which stuns and knocks back the enemies that you pass through, or you can use Tumble in order to increase the number of vaults you can use. And if you're wondering how to play this build, it's quite simple. All you have to do is survive with your character, Drop your sentries on every pup you want to kill and just let them do the job for you. Remember to use your escape ability every time you get low, and that's pretty much it. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Leave a like if you liked it. I may make a series out of this. More to come of course, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them. See you on the next one.